Hey, hey, Dripping Springs. It is the weekly drip, season 4, episode 39. It's Ashley and Amber talking all things Dripping Springs. Amber, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you've noticed, but the last 2 days, maybe it's just me, I don't know. But the last 2 days, I feel like the way the sun has been rising has been so beautiful. Driving my son to school down Fitzhugh, the last 2 days, we're like, oh my gosh, look at how beautiful that field is with the horses. And look at how beautiful it is over there. And oh my gosh, we get to live here.
Well, y'all, breaking news. Here's something that Amber and I differ on. I am not a sunrise girl. I'm a sunset girl. I'm not
I
watching the
prefer
sunrise, friend.
sunsets. I prefer sunsets, but just something about the way the sun has been hitting the last couple of days is I don't know. It just feels, maybe I'm just in the positive spirit. I don't know. Attitude of gratitude. I'm so grateful to be here.
I love it. I love it. Oh man, even on my worst days, our family will do 3 good things. And we don't do roses and thorns. I'm not interested in roses and thorns. Like I want 3 good things. Like you can always find 3 good things. And there are definitely days where I'm like, this day was terrible. What can I come up with? I heard the birds chirping and like I get so excited again. It just makes me feel better. So anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We are here to talk gratitude though, I feel like.
Yes, yes, yes. So we wanted to do something that we thought would be of service to our community for those of us who don't like to do all of the Thanksgiving cooking. And I am one of those. I don't want to cook everything. I don't want to cook for 3 days. I just don't want to. I love my family. I want them to eat well, but I don't want to be in the kitchen for 3 days. And that is how long it used to take me to make my Thanksgiving every year because I had to do the gluten-free, dairy-free, and I mean, options are better now. There are better options now. But I used to have to home make the bread to be able to cut it up for the croutons, for the stuffing, and it's just too much. We don't need to do that. There's a better way.
There are better ways. When you know better, you do better.
Yes, yes. So we wanted to talk to y'all about some different businesses in our area that are offering some Thanksgiving support. If maybe you don't want to cook your turkey, maybe you don't want to make your pies, maybe you don't want to make your sides. We have a few companies that are still accepting pre-orders. I would suggest if you have not done that yet, I would do it today because there are definitely places that are selling out and are not taking pre-orders anymore. But who do you have?
Well, I was kind of thinking from a standpoint of, first of all, if I'm invited somewhere, what am I going to wear? Because if I'm at home, I don't dress up to go to my table. However, if I'm going to somebody else's home, I'll suddenly dress a little differently. So I'd like to start there. Do you dress up to go to your own table?
I'm usually in pajamas, but I'm actually having company over this year. I have some new friends coming over. So now I'm like, shoot, I guess I need to figure out what I'm going to wear. Maybe I shouldn't wear my PJs.
And then my second question is, are you a Thanksgiving lunch person, dinner, or dinner person? What time do y'all eat?
I would say it's usually like dinner. We usually do like a big breakfast and then skip lunch, and then it's like an early dinner.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you? What do you do?
Well, I think that, okay, so I should back up. I married my husband for a few reasons. Number one, other than him being amazing, of course, that's at the top of the list. He's a total dog lover. He fell in love with me because I had a puppy. That's how I wooed him. And he's like the biggest like animal lover on planet Earth. And number two, he introduced me to fried turkey. So I had my first fried turkey 20 Thanksgivings ago, and now it is a requirement. If we go somewhere and I don't get it, he's required to make one at some other point. I will eat it any time of the year. All that to say, he has to dictate what time we eat because he's in charge of the most important piece of the puzzle.
Fair.
So we cater typically, if we're not going somewhere, we cater to like whatever he says. And because I get my fried turkey, I don't care. We could eat it at 9 a.m. and that would be fine by me, or 9 p.m. I don't care.
I have never had fried turkey. I don't love turkey, and maybe it's because I've never had fried turkey.
Yes, that's
Um,
exactly what it is.
maybe that's why. I would rather have ham.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm here for the sides mostly.
Well, and that's what we're talking
It's
about
the
today.
stuffing and the potatoes and the cranberry sauce, and the green bean casserole. Like everything else can go. I don't really care about anything else. If I have those four things, like I'm good.
Okay,
Okay.
Nate, that is fair enough because 20 years ago I was just like you. Turkey was very boring. It was dry out of the oven. I don't know if I'd go so far as to be like I'd like a ham because I feel like that's like more of a Christmas thing. But have you ever had a honey baked ham? My word, life changing.
Yes,
Those
I
are good.
have.
Those are really good.
I make a darn good brown sugar ham. Is what I usually make. It's
Ooh.
delicious.
Yum. That sounds amazing. But I digress. I
You know.
digress. We're in it for the science. And that's what we're here to talk about today. So I was
Yes.
thinking from the lens of, okay, if I'm going to someone else's home and I want to bring a dish, but I'm nervous to make my own. So if it
Mhm.
sucks, I can be like, oh, that's their bad, not mine. Like if I don't want to take full responsibility, I'm like, yeah, sure. And then, or if you go to like a potluck and nobody eats what you brought, like it kind of hurts my
Oh,
feelings. Like it's like, it makes me feel bad. Do they
what's
think my
wrong
kitchen's
with my
dirty
cooking?
or my food is here? I like, oh, it's ridiculous. So if I were to pick something up to take with me, I would stop at two places in town, Pigpen or The Switch, which are both barbecue restaurants. Yes.
Okay.
My mouth is watering. I'm like, oh, that sounds really good. But both have really amazing sides. So at Pigpen, right here at 12 and 290, they have potato salad, which is really like a potato casserole. And it reminds me a lot of like scallop potatoes, uh,
Oh,
but without the cheese. So
okay. Okay.
like that really yummy, creamy, rich taste. It's delicious. Their green beans are also totally delicious. Their barbecue's pretty darn good too. So if you're like, oh, I'm just going to grab turkey, I wouldn't even hesitate to get their turkey. It's amazing. And then I would pivot down at the Switch. They have a corn casserole, which is exactly like what you would think it of to be. Cornbread, actual corn in it in a casserole. It's delicious. But their favorite side dish, which I would argue maybe doesn't belong on a Thanksgiving table, but is awesome, is their cucumber tomato salad. It's the
Oh,
best. It is so
okay.
good. It is so good. So, you have to have a
Fair.
salad on the table, right? So there's no lettuce
No,
involved,
you
but
don't
it's
have to have that.
tomato, purple onion, and feta. And I eat it a lot without feta. I could go either way. But I eat that sucker year round. So if you have to have a salad on the table, that's the salad for sure, in my opinion.
Yum. That does sound really, really good.
So
That
those
does
are my,
sound
if I were to pick something up, those are the two places I would go to and push the easy button.
So I looked up what Pigpen's menu was, and they also have a corn casserole. So I'm curious comparison how Pigpen's corn casserole is compared to Switch's corn casserole, and if it's the same type of thing.
I don't know. I've never had it at the Switch because or at Pigpen because I've always had it at the Switch. And it's like, do I want to know? Do I want the quest for better? Yeesh.
Fair. And then Pigpen also, on top of having turkey, they also have smoked spiral ham and smoked brisket. So if you don't want ham or turkey, you can do a brisket, which is so Texas. And like, this is
Hmm.
fine. This is fine. You can do brisket.
I don't know how you
Um,
feel about that.
no,
Well, I mean, I have like really strong opinions about food.
I
We
mean,
know
that's
we know
okay.
this to be
This
true.
is okay.
So and I love brisket. Is brisket a Thanksgiving approved food? By the way, friends that are watching this at 4-ish o'clock on Wednesday, we're not actually live right now, so we can't have y'all weigh in. Amber and I had some scheduling conflicts, but we didn't want to miss out on this conversation. So we're recording this a little bit earlier today on Wednesday for y'all to view. So I'm hoping some comments will flood in, and maybe this is really a good time to ask the hard-hitting, opinionated questions, because we won't be around to see the comments.
Brisket or no brisket?
Brisket or no brisket Thanksgiving? What say ye?
Also, so this one I got pretty excited about. I looked up the Thin Blue Smokeries menu.
Oh, yes, that dude.
So they have turkey, they have ham, they also have brisket, they have a sausage sage stuffing, blistered Italian greens, cranberry salsa, and sweet potato souffle. And if you don't want to do anything, they have an ultimate Thanksgiving package, which is 3.5 pounds of turkey, 32 ounces of turkey gravy, half a pan of sausage sage stuffing, half a pan of sweet potato souffle, half a pan of blistered Italian green beans, and 16 ounces of their cranberry salsa. And it says that it'll feed 12 people, 4-ounce servings of turkey and sides. So that's like a super easy check. The only thing that I would argue that is missing is dessert, which I would get from Rosehaven. Rosehaven has, like, I was looking at their menu, and the options that they have it's a big long list. They have so many offerings. So I'm just going to read through them, and everything, with the exception of the coconut cream pie, comes in both regular or gluten-free. The coconut cream only comes in gluten-free. So this totally covers all of our gluten-free peeps. So for pies, they have coconut cream, classic apple pie, gluten-free apple pie, pecan, chocolate bourbon pecan pie, pumpkin pie, maple bacon chess pie, and then they have cheesecake pies. And so they have a pumpkin cheesecake, a spiced apple cheesecake, lemon blueberry cheesecake, German chocolate cheesecake, and hummingbird classic cheesecake. And wait, there's more. They also have a variety of cupcakes that are like, it's just a bundle, a Thanksgiving pack, and they come in a bunch of different flavors. And so they have the cupcakes, and then they also have a sweet potato souffle. So if you don't have your desserts covered, I would take a little trip over to Christie's Place at the Rosehaven, right near the new H-E-B, near Nettie Brown and 290, and get you some pie.
Yes. This brings up a couple of things I had curiosities about. So sweet potato souffle, was that one of the ones that you just read? Okay. Yes. Isn't it interesting that a dish that we would think of as a side dish is like, it's a covert dessert that snuck its way in as a side. I was asking my son what his favorite thing was at Thanksgiving, and he's like, oh, the sweet potatoes. And I'm like, why? Because they're covered in marshmallows that we put under the broiler, and it melts it on there. Fair. That's exactly why. That is a very fair response. Across. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. Also, I would argue that we can't call any of this stuffing. I think it's actually dressing, because stuffing, I think, means that it was inside the turkey. So I think it's actually called dressing. But then I'm like, I think of like stovetop stuffing, the brand. Right. That didn't come from inside a turkey.
Maybe that's why we're all confused, is because of stovetop. Stovetop, what have you done to us?
What are they, a craft product? Whoever their big conglomerate is, they like this for us.
So other than your turkey, what is the one thing that you cannot, it's not Thanksgiving without that dish?
Yeah. It's not Thanksgiving unless you're stressed out 15 minutes before it's time to eat.
That's so fair. turkey and stress. That's those things.
Thank God for that tryptophan in it when you get done eating. It's not Thanksgiving unless you have a gallon of sweet tea and a gallon of unsweet tea, and nobody drinks the unsweet tea, but you had it, so you were ready. I feel like I should do like a stand-up sketch about this. It's not Thanksgiving unless there's been a deep discussion about the cranberries that are going to be on the table. Are those made from scratch, or do you like slosh them out of the can?
The
I'll eat them.
ridges.
Yeah, the ridges.
The
That's how you
ridges.
know where to cut it, right?
Right.
The ridges
Follow
are
the
there.
lines. Oh my goodness. I haven't had the ridges in so long. Like I don't feel like I can go back. That's one thing that I always make sure that I home make. And I have
So
figured
easy.
out a recipe to be able to home make my cranberry sauce in the crock pot so that I am not using my coveted stovetop space or
Yeah.
my oven space. All about the crock pots. Potatoes get cooked in the crock pot. Cranberry sauce gets cooked in the crock pot. I have my roaster that I cook my turkey in usually. Like that oven space is
It's gold.
prime space for Thanksgiving.
Oh, I'm like jumping down. Like, it's not Thanksgiving unless you're playing Tetris in your oven.
Seriously. Like I need 15 more minutes on this pie, but we've got to get this in now.
But it's also not Thanksgiving if at the end of the day, when you're exhausted and you've cleaned up and everybody's gone home or they're still sitting around and you look around going, I don't have to do jack tomorrow. We get to just be together. That's probably my favorite part of Thanksgiving. But that wasn't the question you asked. My husband makes a sage and thyme dressing out with gluten-free cornbread. And so it's like the gluten HEB, I think it's HEB brand's gluten-free cornbread. So it's a little bit of the sweeter yellow cornbread with Jimmy Dean sausage, and there's sage and thyme in it. And he found that recipe, I think Homesick Texan. It might be a Homesick Texan recipe. If you guys have never seen that woman's blog, it's incredible, the stuff that she makes. So I've gotten to where like I really want that on the table. I also really want the homemade cranberries on the table, but I'm not particular about what recipe is used. In fact, I like them so much, I'll make it or he'll make it for me throughout the year because I like to eat it cold out of the fridge, like
Okay.
at any time. And if it's dessert time, I just add a little like Ready Whip on top, and it's oh golly, it's like it's so good. It's so good.
So are you a mixer or do you keep your stuff all apart?
For the dinner, I keep it apart. For leftovers, that's a whole new ball game. We've made Thanksgiving egg rolls before. So
Egg
you take,
rolls?
yeah, you take a wonton and you put like your turkey, mashed potatoes or dressing, and it has to have a sliver of the cranberry, and then deep fry it.
Mm,
It's dope. It is so
that sounds
good.
killer.
What about you?
Um, ooh, the cranberry sauce. I'm really love the cranberry sauce and the green bean casserole.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like those two are requirements. If that's not on the table, like what are we even doing here?
I like it. Do you put Worcestershire in your green bean casserole?
I do not. I
My
found a recipe. I think it may have been a Paula Deen recipe about 10 years ago. And
girl, that's on the back of the French's fried onions. You
I
know
have
it.
I have alternated that recipe with my growing dietary restrictions, and like I've got it down. I've got it down pat.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
And of course, we have to talk real quick about what is happening tonight. Ashley, what are we
Yes.
doing?
Yes. So for our friends that are in the Weekly Drip Book Club, our meetup is tonight, which is a pivot from our normal Thursday. We're meeting tonight on Wednesday at 11:15, not at 11, but it's 6 p.m. at the Crowded Barrel, and I believe they have room for more. We have our normal crew kind of signed up, but there is space for more if y'all want to join us. We're yapping about lessons in chemistry, and then we will reveal our plans for the rest of the year this evening. Empower is in hiatus until January. Our next Empower meetup is on Amber and I's birthday, so you really want to be there. We'll be talking more about that over the next several weeks. Don't worry. We'll remind you it's our birthday and Empower is happening.
Yes. Just in case you forget, we'll tell you again.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. Love it.
And so just a fun little play on the book. So our book, Lessons in Chemistry. So since our book club starts at 6 and we're going to have the food truck, we're going to have supper at 6.
I love it. I love it.
And also,
the table. Your mom needs a minute. Is that what she says?
Yes. Yes. Oh, it's such a good book. I'm so excited to talk about it. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Ashley. Thank you so much for joining us, Drip. We love you. We appreciate you. We're so grateful to be here and so grateful to be able to share these things with you. And I hope that y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful Thanksgiving with your families that is as stress-free as humanly possible and full of gratitude and thanks and love and family. And we once more are just so grateful for you. And we look forward to coming back for you next week, always Wednesday at 4 o'clock.